I'd like to welcome everybody to the V3 implementation call. Today is November 24th. We are happy to have you with us today. Let me go ahead and move to the agenda. Oh, as a reminder, I almost forgot, these meetings are recorded, so they are made available on our website and also on our YouTube channel. If you need to go back to them for any reason, you are welcome to. We'll go ahead and start our agenda off. I'm just going to make an announcement for Laurel this morning. There is no maintenance in November, and she does post the months or the maintenance windows for each month on the website so that you can plan and prepare for that. She also lets everybody know in the Google group when there's maintenance coming up as well. So no maintenance for November. Next on our agenda is Ben Fisher. He's going to share a little bit about eDisposition 12 support materials with us.
Thanks. And Julianne, I'm going to steal the screen from you.
You may.
Oh, it won't let me right now.
How about now? Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. With the transition to version 3.5, we've received some requests for additional materials for the disposition changes that are coming to eDisposition 12. So with that, we have tried to make and are continuing to make some educational materials. And the first one is designed for state data managers and hopefully would be useful to field staff as well. But this is a flow chart to show how new disposition or existing dispositions would be documented with the new fields. So each swim lane is one of the new fields that will replace eDisposition 12 that you can see on the left. And then the selection options are in that second column for each swim lane. So the first example is just a standard patient encounter with ambulance transport. You would start at the top and you can see that patient contact was made with the green check. The patient was evaluated and care provided. The same crew initiated and continued primary care, transported. Because they transported and there was no refusal, eDisposition 31 is left blank. And then the final patient acuity is also documented. I know we had received a little bit of feedback that this field isn't often used, or some field providers were not familiar with using this every day, but for disposition, the patient status of alive or dead is now going to be documented in this field instead of eDisposition 12. So that the first document is just for a standard kind of uncomplicated ambulance transport. We've also created one for a pronouncement where patient contact was made, they were evaluated, and essentially the patient was pronounced dead at scene. And you can see here in eDisposition 19, dead with resuscitation. And then the final document, and all these will be made available, we'll distribute them and also put them on our website. The final document was related to the assist disposition. So there was some confusion about how they would map from eDisposition 12 to the new disposition elements in 3.5. So you can see here, this document is slightly different than the other ones. There's 2 check marks, so it's kind of a choose your own adventure story. For the old assist public, you'll select the options next to the green check mark, and then support services with the purple check mark. And then at the bottom, and I'll try and zoom in on it a little bit, we tried to describe a scenario for assist public. So we wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page when we were describing the scenario where you might document assist public. And in this one, it's someone's oxygen compressor stops working or the power goes out, and they essentially just need an oxygen wrench to open a compressed gas cylinder until the power comes back on, or Apria comes and reopens or replaces their cylinder. And then we also just kind of highlight in a footnote that the reason these look different is because we're trying to reduce the number of assist options, because I think in 3.4 the number of assist options was a little overwhelming and could be confusing. So you'll see here for support services, with the purple check mark, no patient contact, patient support services were provided, incident support services were provided for the crew disposition, because you have to remember in 3.5, the disposition elements now document what happened to the patient, the crew, and essentially the vehicle. So you can see here, the transport disposition was not applicable because essentially there was no patient contact and it was a support call. The reason for refusal and release was left blank. And then final patient acuity is also not applicable. So with that, I'll stop talking. I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, we'll make these available to everyone. We certainly welcome feedback about this. We're happy to kind of incorporate the feedback into these. But our hope is with these three examples, it will give everyone a better understanding of sort of what's happening with e-disposition 12 and the new disposition elements.
Ben, this is Karen Jacobson.
Hey.
In South Dakota, we've actually just kind of been discussing some public scenarios. And this is great. It's actually quite timely. I'm wondering specifically about this public assist one. If you can maybe add some additional language up at the top that says, key or something, because I initially, and I have a pretty good big monitor at home here, I couldn't see the purple check marks. So I was really confused about what you were talking about initially. So I'm just wondering if maybe kind of a key on how to use the check-marked items might assist.
Yeah, no, that's very helpful feedback. Yeah, I think we can absolutely do that. I say confidently, but Chris is going to have to help me. Any other questions or anything else? Any other feedback?
Yeah, Ben, this is Brenda in Florida. I appreciate all the time y'all have given us with our questions, and this certainly has helped our field staff understand how we were going to move our current scenarios into the new model here. So we really appreciate these.
And thank you for your feedback, because that was very helpful as we started to make these. All right, well, I will stop sharing, but like I said, we'll make these publicly available. And if anybody has any comments or questions about them, please let us know.
Thank you, Ben. Next on our agenda, I'm going to turn the time over to Monet. She's going to talk about closing out the 2021 research data set for a few minutes.
Okay, good morning or afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day today, and happy holiday season if you haven't heard it yet. I first of all want to say we very much appreciate everything you guys are doing to assist the states and state managers. We appreciate everything you're doing to assist your communities. It's been a really interesting year, and I know that we're all happy to be done with 2021. We have a final count of the data that is currently in the warehouse. We're about 90% complete for this calendar year. We have about 38 more days for this year. And so this is a request for all the year-end data. What you'll notice here is that I have a couple of states, well, they're not really identified, but the numbers are identified. So there are a comparison from what we received in 2020 calendar year to what we currently have for this current calendar year. And that becomes a percentage. And so some of these states I have already contacted and have been in contact with over the last couple of months, trying to understand what's happening with the data. And then other states that are not clearly identified here, I'll be reaching out to you over the next couple of weeks to see if we can provide some additional assistance to receive all the year-end data. We're currently looking for approximately 3.9 million records. And so I've scanned all the states, and I'll continue to do that to look for gaps in submissions. I want to talk a little bit about the three common reasons that I'm noticing the gaps. So the number one reason, of course, has to do with DIM files and PCR files. We're still seeing inconsistencies, either missing DIM files or inconsistencies between the DIMs and the PCRs. And so I'll continue to reach out and assist with state managers and agencies if you would like, so that we can make some corrections on those issues. The second issue has to do with software product transitions. At the local level, at the state level, there are times when the submissions are turned off, when you're going through those transitions from one product to another, we are just not receiving that data. And then the third reason has to do with inadvertent breaks, maybe auto posts are turned off, and also voluntary turning off the data. So these are the three reasons I've noticed why the data is currently not coming in. One of the resources that we have available for you to look and compare your state level data to what we have in the NHTSA warehouse is the composition of the warehouse dashboard. So now you'll see that I'm here on the NHTSA website. And from the home page, you can go to view reports, go to state reports, the version 3 dashboards, and slightly down towards the bottom, we have the composition of the warehouse dashboard. And you can simply click on this dashboard and explore what type of data you have in the warehouse for the previous year. So here's just a screenshot. I'll stop sharing and ask if there are any questions at this time. Okay, I will continue to reach out to you. And again, I want to thank you all so very much for everything that you're doing. But if I have a need to reach out to you by email or telephone, and we can converse about the data, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you, Monet. All right, next on our agenda is Josh. Josh Legler is going to share with us some published case definitions. I do want to make just one more reminder to update if you're a vendor especially, to update your name in the participant list with your company or the product that you're representing, just so that we can make sure to give proper credit for the participation component of compliance. So Josh, it is all you.
Thanks, Julianne. Good morning, everyone. You might recall a couple months ago, we published some case definitions for NHTSA. The idea is that these could be used in research and performance improvement efforts. Those were published in the NHTSA public Git repository a couple months ago, but we now have a page on the NHTSA website that gives you access to those case definitions as well. The case definitions are specifications, technical specifications for how to find patient care reports that fit certain kind of categories that are often looked at in either research or performance improvement efforts. So for example, if you wanted to find all STEMI calls in a batch of NHTSA data, then there's a case definition for STEMI. There's a PDF that walks through the case definition kind of in English, like here's what we're trying to find, and also cites some sources that we used as we put together that case definition. In addition to that, then there's an XPath or XQuery file. So that gives you the case definition in XPath code. So if someone wanted to run that query against a batch of XML data, then it's already written for them, ready to go. And finally, you could grab the SAS code for that case definition. So if you were using the NHTSA public research data set, you could run this SAS code to select all the STEMI calls in the research data set. So those case definitions, that page is available through the Using EMS Data menu item. And it's a new menu item right at the bottom of that menu for case definitions. So again, we hope these are helpful for people with both performance improvement and research efforts. And we anticipate that these would be potentially tweaked and refined over time, and also that we will add more case definitions over time as the need arises to do so. So that's the case definitions. Any questions on those? Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Josh. Next on our agenda, Chris Hoffman and Josh Legler are going to talk a little bit about ET3 support materials.
Good morning, everyone. I'm usually behind the camera, so this is exciting for me. Let me go ahead and find my share screen. And all right, can everybody see the NHTSA website at this point?
Looks good.
Wonderful. So going back to the NHTSA website here, we also have a improvement and change to the ET3 resources that are available on the website. So if you've been here before, and to kind of give you the idea where this is, just where Josh showed in that menu system, right next to case definitions, right above it, you have the CMS ET3 project link, which will bring you to this page. If you have visited this page before, a lot of this is going to look familiar. The top half of this page is still the same, where we have links to the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Innovations ET3 model page. These all go to the external pages. We have our presentation that was in October of last year, I believe, when we were talking about ET3. But the real fun and new part of the website is when you scroll down here to the bottom. I got to stand on the shoulders of Josh's giant ability to build wonderful magical code. What we used to call a 10Xer when I worked in the startup industry. Now, when you are looking for ET3 implementation tools, they are separated by NHTSA version. So as you can see right here underneath ET3 V3 implementation tools, we have a small drop down here now that says show implementation tools for version 3.5. And what you'll see down here is we have the state data set, the validation rules, and custom dispositions, etc. Everything down here that is for version 3.5, including the change history. Now, if you wanted to look at all of those documents, but you want to look at the 3.4 version, you click on this drop-down menu, choose 3.4, and magically, all of those links and whatnot now are based on version 3.4. It is one of those things that seems like it's so simple. It's magic behind the scenes of how wonderful this is, and how convenient and user-friendly it makes all of the information here. And then, of course, at the very bottom, there is a link if you want to go straight to the repository that has all of these files that are up here. You can do that as well. Sort of a quick tour, but are there any questions about this part until I hand it over to Josh?
Chris,
Right,
is
so
to the big bucket also on this this website, the big bucket where it has the updated for the schematron versions. Is that also on here?
oh, Bitbucket. Is that what you were asking about?
Sorry. Yes. Sorry.
My
Thanks,
apologies.
Josh.
That's the link at the very bottom here. I'll go ahead and click on it for you so you can see. Yes, it will take you to the Bitbucket where you can navigate the resources from there.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah, so everyone, as you just saw, as Chris was presenting that, we have finished and published the 3.5 resources for ET3. So if you're looking for the ET3 schematron for NHTSA 3.5 or the state data set, which includes the custom element configurations for 3.5, those are all published now. The ET3 has published a data submission guide that is specific to 3.5, and we've also done a kind of a dispositions document, a scenarios document to help people figure out how to report the different dispositions that ET3 enables from a 3.5 perspective. as opposed to 3.4. So you now have all the same resources in both 3.4 and 3.5 that you can grab those and get that into your development efforts for supporting ET3 in NMSIS 3.5. Peter asked, how are these broken down in the repository? They're in release branches. So if you're cloning or looking at the Git repository from Bitbucket, you'll see a release 3.40 branch and a release 3.50 branch. Right now, master is following release 3.40. And when ET3 is ready to start accepting 3.50 data, then I would anticipate at that time, master would start following the 3.5 branch. Any other questions or comments on the ET3 updates? Okay.
So Josh, so all the testing examples are in this repository then that the teams can use to test?
The resources they'll need to
Examples.
develop their software, yeah. So they'll have the schematron rules, the custom elements, the list of collected elements, as well as the additional guidance documents that ET3 has published.
Does this include sample testing files as before?
No, I don't think the ET3 project has ever created any sample testing files in 3.4 or 3.5. So yeah, if your team wanted to create some test or sample files, we could certainly support that.
Thanks.
All right, well, thanks.
Go ahead. Thanks, everybody. Hand it back to you, Julianne.
All right. Thank you, Chris and Josh. Next on our agenda, we've added just a couple of items. Clay's going to go over some products that are available and that are coming available. Clay, it is turned over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And thank you, Josh and Chris, for that magic. Appreciate you showing that. We're really happy to get the 3.5 materials for ET3 up and going. Hey, I just want to make folks aware of 3 additional new products. One that's posted and 2 that will be posted right after the holidays. So just as a quick reminder, if there are folks in your state or the vendors have customers that are interested in a description of the extension of the 3.4 release time period, just want to remind you that if you hover over using EMS data and go to the 3.5 revision and then go down and say, when will the changes associated with 3.5 take place? You'll there find that extension letter regarding extending the closing of version 3.4 until January 2024. That's where that letter is found. And then 2 additional products that will be made available on the website probably shortly after the holiday, but are finished. And Eric will probably talk about our discussion with the state EMS directors regarding these 2 products. These will be posted on the website very soon. If you're interested in a pre-copy to read it during your free time during the holidays, feel free to just in the chat indicate you'd like me to send you a copy. Happy to do that. But we have the finalized data use agreement for version 3.5. That's available, and also a recently released letter from the Office of EMS at NHTSA indicating the request that states update their policies associated with timely submissions of EMS records, and their recommendation to set that to within 24 hours. This letter is now available as well. If you'd like a copy, just let me know, and I would be happy to send one to you. Any questions regarding those 3 products? Okay, Julianne, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Clay. Next on the agenda is Eric Chaney with any items from the Office of EMS.
Good afternoon, everyone. I do not have any specific topics for the group this afternoon. Clay, was there something in particular you wanted me to address regarding the two letters, the CDC letter, the submission lag letter? I mean, all of that information has been disseminated to this group and to the state directors, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, no additional information other than that, just to let folks know that we did speak with the directors, and that was a very productive.
Yes, absolutely. You know, as I said, we did speak with the directors. We made the PowerPoint available that we submitted to the directors. And if anyone hasn't received it, any of the data managers hasn't received it, please let us know. We'll be happy to send you the same package, the same information. My understanding from Dia is she was going to distribute it to those two councils, and then I believe also to the medical directors as well. Happy to address any questions. The draft data, well, it's a draft, but the data use agreement we have included in that package. We've asked for comments and a comment period through the 17th of December. So we're happy to answer any questions. Remember that we have Paige, Wolfberg, and Worth available to help address any questions you receive from your legal counsel office. If they want to talk lawyer to lawyer, I know that's, you know, that physician to physician, lawyer to lawyer thing sometimes helps smooth the process along, or, you know, address specific questions in a language that's unknown to some of us. We're happy to make that connection. We have them available to provide support. So all in all, it's kind of a great wrap up to the year. The conversation with the state directors went pretty well. No surprise, the big ticket item was on resources. And I promise you not a meeting goes by. In fact, we had one yesterday where I don't try to get resources out of various entities to support not necessarily the NHTSA TAC, but to support the state EMS offices or projects that we're doing. So stand by for more of that in 2022 as Congress starts looking at the budgets moving forward. Other than that, I don't have anything other than have a safe, wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season coming up. Any questions for me from the group? Thanks, Clay.
Thank you, Eric. We did get some of those chat messages, and we'll send out information as well. And those will also be shared through the Google group later on as well. Next on the agenda is open forum. To kick that off, I'm going to add a question that I've got for the state data managers. We are doing some partnership on EMS for children, and just want to reach out to any of the data managers that share information, NHTSA data with their EMSC coordinators or directors. If any of you can have a great relationship with your EMSC directors, please shoot us a line, either in chat or an email. We're looking to pull together some of those coordinators to help inform what would be best used in some dashboards and materials specific to EMS for children. So just want to throw that out there, and we welcome your recommendations for that. And then I'll turn it over to the broader audience. If there is anyone who's got a topic or an issue or a question, this is a great time to bring it up. All right, I think everyone's anxious for a holiday weekend. We do not have any trainings coming up in December. Our next V3 implementation calls will be December 8th and December 22nd. On the screen on the agenda, and we've also sent it out in the Google group, the Technical Assistance Center is closed during some of the time during the holiday season due to university closures. So please just keep that in mind as you have questions or needs from the TAC, or as you're considering scheduling your compliance testing. We will not be available those days. Please reach out with any questions, comments, concerns. And we sincerely appreciate everybody being on these calls, participating, and really making this a valuable experience for everyone. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Hopefully everybody gets a little bit of time away. And that's it for us today. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.